Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Sunday, the 19th of April 2026, the year of Green Wicks and BSV Terranode in the mix. Branch of threads expanded mine with treechat.ai or your post bot on chain. Alright, so two articles I want to go through today. This one is pretty great actually. So Dr. Tesla in his radio said here, BSV hit rock bottom. We'll go through that. This one about Cafe Satoshi talking about the movie. Quite interesting points that he makes there. We've now got chapter 1, page 7 of from Suicide to Sushi with Satoshi. So we'll go through that first paragraph. We'll have a quick look at the figures, see what's up with what is going down, and then we'll finish with the Ken Umbrella countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Craig says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
Alright, here we go. So let's read this one then. I actually really thoroughly enjoyed this one. Well worth a read here on the show. So, titles here. BSV just hit rock bottom. Laugh out loud. When crypto Twitter right now and the takes read like this, is BSV even still listed? Satoshi, check the chart, case closed. Quotes here, if there were the real thing, would it, if this were the real thing, would it really trade here, for example? On the surface, none of it sounds wrong. BTC prints new highs while BSV refuses to move off the floor. Volume has dried up, delisting rumours circle every few months. Influencers won't touch it. The mockery writes itself. But wait, haven't we seen this before? The last 10 minutes of The Dark Knight. If you remember how Nolan ended The Dark Knight, you know Harvey Dent is dead. Someone has to carry the blame for his fall. Batman makes a choice. He takes it. Sirens well. Cops chase him across rooftops. Dogs are released. Stones are thrown. The entire city turns against him. Get the man who killed Harvey Dent. Gordon's son asks the questions. Dad, why are we chasing him? He didn't do anything wrong. Gordon answers, because he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him because he can take it, because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. Swap Batman with Craig Wright in 2026, and the scene maps almost 1-to-1. How the Joker actually wins. The Joker's win condition was simple. Not to defeat Batman, to make the citizens of Gotham hate Batman themselves. The Joker never inverted the truth, he just made the man telling the truth look like the villain. Now look at crypto media headlines. Craig Wright loses court case. Satoshi faker find, BSV is dead. On the surface it looks conclusive. Nobody asks why those headlines get written in the first place. There is a business model that only survives as long as Satoshi stays denied. BTC ETFs, Layer 2 tokens, exchange listing fees, mining infrastructure capital, trillions of dollars of there is no Satoshi narrative shake the moment the real one speaks. The same way the Joker needed Gotham to burn, certain players need Batman discredited to keep their lights on. Absolutely. Why Batman doesn't explain himself. The most frustrating moment in the film is almost an anti-moment. One sentence from Batman could clear everything up and he refuses. I didn't kill him, Harvey broke first. One line, he never says it. Why? Because he understands that Gotham needs the symbol of Harvey Dent more than it needs the truth. Speak the truth and the symbol collapses, and the city falls deeper into chaos. So Batman wears the lie and runs. In December 2010, one of Satoshi's last posts on Bitcoin Talk contained this line. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to convince you. Sorry. I don't have time to try convince you, sorry. That is Batman's tone, word for word. No explanations, no evidence marathons. Those who see, see. Those who don't get none of his time. And this is not just one posture. A peer-to-peer system was designed to operate without trust. Code proves humans do not have to persuade. The moment the system depends on persuasion, it has already stopped being Satoshi's system. The white paper's biggest paradox. Here is the irony worth sitting with. The Bitcoin white paper was written for electronic cash for everyone. It only works as a system if the whole world uses it. And in reality, the whole world uses a ticker, not a protocol. It uses the digital gold narrative dressed up as the name Bitcoin. The system the white paper actually describes is visibly only to a minority. The paradox is this. A system designed for mass adoption has been packaged for mass adoption only by replacing the original with a copy. Batman needs all of Gotham to save Gotham, but Gotham would rather build a statue of Harvey Dent. That's the situation we're inside. Why 2026 is the last window. BSV Chronicle activated in April 2026. The practical block size ceiling is gone. The final tech piece of why should anybody use this is now in place. At the exact same moment, the BTC side is floating Adam back as a possible Satoshi candidate. A video piece titled Killing Satoshi is in production. Mainstream media is suddenly re-interested in Satoshi story in the Satoshi story after years of ignoring it. Why now? Because their clock is ticking too. To keep there is no Satoshi narrative alive, they need to pre-install narratives. Maybe it was Adam Back is easier to sell than an empty chair, especially if the real one is about to speak louder. Two tides are heading straight for one another, and we are standing in the meeting point. One side hardens its proof, the other builds walls of alternative narrative. The moment the market is forced to pick one, the window of opposition has already closed. Price can still go lower, that is not the point. The point is that 2026 is the last window to choose a position anywhere near the floor. The people who take the seat will be a minority. The design always assumes that. On being asked to guarantee the price, one last thing for the crowds that say, you keep defending BSV, will you guarantee the price? That is the same as asking Batman to guarantee Gotham real estate values. Batman does not exist to make Gotham rich, he exists so that Gotham does not collapse. Craig Wright is not your portfolio manager, he is the man defending a protocol. Price is a market problem, protocol legitimacy is a design problem. The moment you merge the two, the debate is already lost. Those who see the truth are a minority. Satoshi does not practically care if they also make money. Doing so, the thing will be adopted anyway. He will not spend time proving it to those who cannot see. He is just Batman in the literal sense. The city can chase, he runs. He does not need to be understood because he can make it. For the unfiltered version, CS Tom and Argo on X, he may be an unpleasant character, he probably will be, but pleasant characters do not build peer-to-peer money systems and then spend years defending them against everyone. That job requires someone who can take it. Oh, so is that article actually on? Is it? Has he actually done a post on that? That was a really good one. Loving that. Right, I might have to go through his post and try and find it. But moving on then, let's move on to this one. So Cafe Satoshi says here, my prediction, the new Bitcoin movie, previously named Killing Satoshi, will find it difficult to make it to a cinema or streaming platform. Let me explain why. It will be shown first in Cannes next month. This happens so a distributor or streaming service makes an offer for it. But the official synopsis itself shows why it will attract trouble for any distributor. Yep. A high-stakes conspiracy thriller that asks the question no one in power wants to answer. Why have the world's most powerful and wealthiest people, Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, Visa and virtually every major crypto organization, poured hundreds of millions of dollars into a single mega organization called COPA with one sole purpose, to destroy one man? ? No company will touch such a story if they really mentioned these people in the movie and alleged they were behind COPA and that they tried to destroy Satoshi. This would probably cost the distributors millions after being dragged into endless court battles for tarnishing their name without any proof. There is no real life connection between these billionaires, Visa and COPA. Unless there is no new proof showing this connection, I highly doubt it, then the movie will be a flop. Well, yeah, it might be a flop, but number go up could change all that. Naming real billionaires and companies while implying a massive conspiracy to destroy one man without strong on-screen proof could invite defamation, libel or false-like claims, especially from Dorsey, Meta, Visa or crypto firms. Even if the film calls itself fiction or inspired by, the specific naming plus accusory tones raises the odds of lawsuits. Distributors and streamers hate expensive legal headaches that could drag on for years and cost millions in defense/settlements. Hollywood has pulled or altered projects for far less. I'm really sorry for the actors, especially Gal Gadot and Casey Affleck, as they probably signed up for this without knowing anything about the real story, and I really enjoy their acting. They are actually among the top 10 actors for me. I think the only way this movie can make it is if somehow the synopsis is amended and the names in the movies of the billionaires or companies are changed completely. I also think the fact that they already changed the name from Killing Satoshi to Bitcoin shows they were already trying to tone it down. Well, it's actually Bitcoin Killing Satoshi. I would have gone to see the movie even if it portrayed someone who isn't Satoshi as Satoshi, but I doubt it will make it to any cinema near me now after the synopsis was revealed. Yeah, he might well be correct there. Curtis replied saying this was their platinum membership tier before the trial. Meta dropped out the day before the trial started, but the claim is true that Zuck, Dorsey and the major crypto platforms formed COPA to sue. COPA claimed to be about more than suing, but they've gone quiet. Yeah, get Kurt in amongst the witnesses if you're having trouble with lawsuits and all that. I wouldn't want to go up against Kurt in a battle of history over Bitcoin. I think he's the legit, the one and only. I've not known anybody who knows more about Bitcoin than Kurt. It's phenomenal. There we go. Quite enjoyed that. Let's get on to this then. So I've just uploaded this. This is chapter 1, page 7. Shocking the hippocampus into functioning. Whilst on the sofa trying to cope with my stonking headache, I'm doing all I can to distract myself away from it. The pain is so unbelievably intense, and for the first time in my life I can't rub it, I can't spray anything on it, I can't even prod it. I have to try and live with it residing in the centre of my head. Every second that passes feels like a minute, and every minute feels like an hour. I can't watch shit videos either. They seem to make it worse. Music doesn't help. I have to turn it off. I find myself strangely addicted to true life crime. It has to be real. It can't be any bullshit fictional drama. The more traumatic the story, the better I feel. I never used to watch traumatic true life crime because I found it too traumatizing, funnily enough. But now watching it feels so good. Am I developing some sick satisfaction from other people's misfortune? What the hell is going on? I keep watching in fascination, absorbing more and more. Oh, it's almost as juicy as the movie Bitcoin Killing Satoshi. So yeah, hope you enjoy that. That is now available on Paybit. Loving that. Let's have a look at the figures then. Oh, let's see if we can refresh CoinDance. So we've got a GMAX coin at $75,000, a B Crash 442. What a joke! Fisher Price Cash, who cares? Bitcoin at $16 or $15.87 top left. CoinDance not reporting any of the stats there. But they've still got the blocks here. So we've got 17, 19, 25, 22, 5, 1, 5, 2, 1, 2, 9, 3, 2, 1, 2, 19, 4, 19, 19, 2, 9, 1, and 13 megabytes in these blocks. Right. It looks like CoinDance is not willing to show the rest of the stats today. Right, we'll have to come back to that then. But check this out. So BitInfo Charts has now relisted Bitcoin SV. So they must be getting the information from the Chronicle, or from after the activation of Chronicles, reading from the nodes finally. And look at this: 5,073,507 transactions over the last 24 hours, representing 60% of the entire market's utility volume. Look at that, smashing Ethereum, smashing GMAX coin. Smashing XRP, and yeah, it's down in the rankings in market cap. It's crazy. So let's have a look at this. Watson Chain says 5,073,507 transactions over the last 24 hours. Let's have a look at the mining stats. Tau with 24.6, QD-Link 21, Kuv 16.6, SA100 10.8, Gorilla Pool 10.1, Molepool 10.1, Mining Dutch 3.6, Cryptex 1.45, and Gorilla Node also 1.45. All right, let's just have a quick look at dashboard here in terms of where the transactions are coming from. Op return 4.7 million. Bitcoin 6,000, non-standard 2,500, money 1,200, and Metanet 732. All right, good stuff. Some 365 days of Bitcoin history now on the 19th of April. Where are we? Let's have a look. Here we go. On the 19th of April 2021, I got emerging storage-based cryptocurrency C.I.A. Would jack up SSD and HDD prices in the future. An article there by TechSpot. Again, more on shitcoins. Absolute load of crap that story was. 19th of April 2022, crypto wallet MetaMask warns iCloud users to disable backups after a $650,000 phishing scam. Would you believe it? Right, there we go. It's a quick 15-minute show. We're now the 19th of April. It's day 213 on the Kellenschweller countdown. When's it going to finish? Who knows? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. It's going to be epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and I hope you understand.
I understand.
Do you?
Do you? This is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
The king still has one more move.